Hey Walter, how you doing?
All right, all right.
Tell me a little bit. How long have you been in Tampa? How long has your family been in
Oh, my
Tampa?
family's been in Tampa for 100 years.
100 years?
Literally, yes.
You
Yes.
don't look that old.
No, I'm not. Yeah, vampire. No, but no, on my mother's side, they're from Ybor City, and my dad's side's from West Tampa, and they came up here in the early 1900s, and my both sides were sharecroppers, and my grandfather came down, my maternal grandfather came down with his cousins, and opened up businesses on Central. My grandfather opened up a auto mechanic shop over in Ybor City on the corner of 12th Avenue and 26th Street.
Really?
Yes, and they, as I said, they were businessmen, and they pulled together. They would give credit to a lot of the sharecroppers that would come in from Georgia to try to get home, housing, and so forth here in Tampa during that time period. So it was a tough time for a lot of people, but they were always there to help folks out. Now, on my dad's side, my grandmother was a seamstress. She came down here to meet my grandfather, and when she did, my father was working on the longshore on the port.
Wow.
And he retired from there, as a matter of fact. So both of them died at nearly 100 years themselves.
Wow.
They were 96 apiece.
So your family has experienced the effects of building the highway, the 275 highway specifically.
Oh yeah, they watched it. They watched the basic decimation of our community.
And so, tell me a little bit. Now that most people like to go back home and see where they were born and what their ancestors did,
Right.
how much of that is still in existence? I mean, you just said Central Avenue, and immediately that was like a light in my head that said there's very little left on Central Avenue.
Right.
Where in Central? If you were to say on 1975, whereabouts is it?
Well, it's gone. Everything's gone. It's been obliterated. Well, my father was actually born in a rooming house on Constant Street. That's gone. And the back part of where in Ybor City, and what they call now East Ybor, which is only called East Ybor primarily for a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons is because I-4 came in and split what used to be Ybor City in two. And so the unity of the community that used to be there was broken, and the economic coalitions and things that used to exist were no longer there, are no longer there. The value in community, gone. Culture, gone. There are people who remember it, but seeing it and it actually existing, two different things. The back part, we have like 13th Avenue,
Right.
literally that's been almost decimated. My mother lives on 12th Avenue right now on the corner of right in East Ybor, and it's just 13th is gone.
Wow.
There's
So
only
basically,
parts of it.
your family history has been just kind of wiped off the map.
Somewhat, yes. Somewhat. We're fighting to keep it alive. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I take the position that I take. It's not just for me, but it's because I'm seeing what's happening. I'm seeing people who are being moved out of their homes, whether they're renters or whether they actually own the homes, doesn't matter. The point is that the far-reaching impacts, the environmental impacts, the actual economic problems that needed to be resolved before these people were sent out to other areas of the city or of the county, it hasn't been addressed.
Right.
And because that hasn't been addressed, we're going to have more of the same issue. Those conditions need to be changed before you leave, or have people leave where they've been for years, for generations, and get them to other areas, or put them in other areas, basically in a mass exodus. What's happened in the past was devastating enough, and what they call urban renewal. Urban renewal destroyed much of what we had before. What the urban core needs more of is better transportation from the standpoint of buses, bus lines, and so forth, to help them get to and from work more efficiently.
Which back in the day, I'm sure that's how your parents got around, and your grandparents,
Oh yeah,
I would say.
absolutely. Of course, my grandfather owned auto mechanic shop, so he had a car,
Okay.
So, but But it was not unusual for us to see, or for them to have seen people who were on buses. As I sit there listening to the history and watching over the years in my own generation, my own time, I'm seeing these things happen. And it's been devastating.